Shh. Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Hello.
So excited. Like, what are we doing here? Very excited to talk to you for an hour like no one's listening, as we do. But I am dying to know is this falling on any ears out there?
Yeah, this is from Kiana on Apple. Head sizing and meal ideas. Andy and Elizabeth, I look forward to Wednesday mornings when I get to hear your voices. The topics you cover are usually things that I'm thinking about, too.
I'm so sorry.
A few months ago, Andy mentioned that he thought his head was too big and he resizes it for the videos.
Resizes.
Great.
Oh, boy.
It isn't too big. Actually, I couldn't watch your YouTube videos because Andy's head looked too small compared to Elizabeth's.
That's called overcompensating, Andy.
Also, okay, wait, I better pause right there. I got to figure out a new way. I think my new thing is I'm going to try to make the microphones look the same size in the video.
Smart.
When
you need to have what's that called?
A reference.
A reference, but what's it called in like when you're doing science tests?
A control.
A control.
I'm telling you, I go back and forth trying to get our head sizes right. If I'm like, okay, I'm getting there, mine should be about the same as yours, but a little bigger. Then my nose looks twice as big as your nose. And I'm going, how is my nose twice as big as your nose?
You might have body dysmorphia.
It would be funny if you looked at one of the YouTube videos and you were like, what the fuck is he thinking?
Your head is like the Beetlejuice man. But you do have your nose is bigger.
Yes.
And that's fine.
That's fine. Kiana, give the YouTube videos one more chance, because I'm gonna get it dialed in with our control/reference. Okay. Also, I have some family meal ideas.
Oh.
Potato and leek soup.
Oh, I fucking love a potato. I love leeks, and I don't even know that I've ever cooked with them.
I don't think I like leeks.
Oh, you would like leeks.
Are they like onions, like
very mild,
estranged stepbrother?
Yeah, but you love cauliflower.
I do.
And you love onions, grilled onions and stuff like that.
So they're in between the two,
I think you would love leeks.
Okay, next one. Pizza beans. Kiana, how the hell are we supposed to know what pizza beans is?
I have to look up pizza beans. Hang on.
All right, I'll keep going while you look that up. Pasta with green sauce. Wait, what the fuck is going on, Kiana?
What do you mean? It's like pesto sauce.
Oh, great. Good suggestion.
Details would be good. Oh, Smitten Kitchen. I love Smitten Kitchen.
Okay, so veggie shepherd's pie is very doable. Smitten Kitchen has great recipes for the last 3. There you go.
So I posted about a broccoli cheddar soup recently, and everyone 3 people were like, what's the recipe? Mm-hmm. It's Smitten Kitchen. And I keep talking about this soup. I think it affected me more than anyone else in the family. It was so good.
God, I'm going to take you down a peg or two. Are you ready? Is it the same broccoli soup you normally make?
So one I just made 2 weeks ago.
I know, but you've made broccoli cheddar soup before. Do you always make this Smitten Kitchen one?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it there then. Okay.
You're such a dick. Wait, you didn't love that? You didn't love that soup?
Do you want me to be real?
Well, yeah.
I liked it a lot, but I thought it was the same one you always make, and I was like, oh, this batch isn't quite as good as it normally is.
Whoa. Well, I think you're thinking of a different soup that's not broccoli cheddar.
No, it would have definitely been broccoli cheddar.
It's a vegetable, creamy vegetable.
I know what you're talking about. It's not that one. I wouldn't get those confused.
Okay, these pizza beans look great.
What are pizza beans?
It looks like it's like a casserole of beans with tomato sauce and pizza beans, cheese, and you dip like crusty bread into it. Okay. Now, I have been making this white bean. Oh, now I'm going to have to link to it and shit. It's like a white bean. Casserole? Kind of cassoulet thing that's vegetarian.
You don't know what a cassoulet is.
Oh, yeah, I do. It's a bean dish. That you do sourdough bread in it, and it's kind of an oregano white bean. It's delicious. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Kiana continues, I've been checking out recipe books at the library, which has been helpful as there are only about 2 to 3 keepers from each book, depending on your family's preferences. Keep up the amazing work and can't wait to hear about your next adventures. That's sweet. We wouldn't be caught dead in a library, though.
I literally was just thinking like, oh, a library. When we lived in Silver Lake, there was a nice library over there.
The downtown LA library is so fucking cool.
It's beautiful.
Ugh.
But you have to go downtown to go to it.
You do. Anyways, but that's good advice. And also, I check out books regularly.
Do you need to start doing vocal warm-ups?
Regularly. Is that right?
Regularly.
From
Boy.
using the Libby app on my phone from the Los Angeles Public Library for my Kindle.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I don't read any of the books, but I check them out.
You do.
Just so other people can't have them for 21 days.
Doing that.
I can't tell you how many times I check out a book and I don't read it. And it's like some poor soul had to wait 21 days for me not to read it till they could check it out.
But you get it on your Kindle.
Yeah.
They only have a certain number of digital copies?
Yeah, because, okay, so you're saying they should have unlimited copies, so just all books are free now? It's a library. Think about that for a minute. Yeah, they have a certain amount of digital copies, just like a regular library would.
Regular?
Yeah.
Regular.
Now you're sounding crazy.
Well, no. Okay.
Rewind the tape.
Eggs. Okay. Cool.
Thanks for the nice message,
That's so
Kiana.
nice. Thank you, Kiana. But first, we want to thank this week's partner, OneSkin, the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, get 15% off. Use code NLR when you check out at oneskin.co. This holiday season, invest in your skin's long-term health because healthy aging is a gift. That's oneskin.co and use code NLR when you check out.
Hey, I want to give a quick shout out. We either have a new listener, I'm suspecting, or one of our listeners is on vacation in Finland because we skyrocketed to the top of the charts in Finland.
What number are we?
Number 6.
In Finland?
Yeah, in relationships.
What an honor. You know what they say about Finland?
Tell me.
It's one of the happiest places on earth.
I love that. So either you're a new listener or you're on vacation, both. Just wanted to shout you out. And thanks to everyone else. I see our Cayman Islands listener shot us to the top of the charts there as well. We knew about you, though, so thank you for...
You're sticking with us. We love it.
We got up to number 66 in the U.S.
That's fantastic.
I love it. And up to 18 in Slovenia.
Oh.
Shout out to all of our Slovenia nobodies.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm about to sound so stupid.
Yeah.
Is it Slovenian or is it Slovakian?
Listeners, good call. Maybe it's... Let us know. Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Nothing would tickle us more if you left a comment on Apple or Spotify if you're from Finland or Slovenia.
Yes.
Truly.
That would be so meaningful.
It would.
So we have so much to cover. So much has happened in our lives.
Do you want to start with the church? Because I called. Do you want to get that over with real quick?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Everyone. By everyone, I mean, well, I haven't really given it much more thought.
Oh, you haven't even given it much thought.
But I'm glad that you are following through.
Thank you. So I have been trying to get a hold of a church in Boise, Idaho, because I heard a rumor about it when I was visiting Boise a couple weeks ago.
Okay. I want more details of this rumor.
So here's the rumor. This is a Catholic church in Boise. The rumor was that the priest, is that right? The father, the priest?
The priest, yes.
The priest does not face the crowd when he gives his sermon, that his back is to the audience.
I have a bunch of questions to kick us off.
I have a ton of questions. That's why I had to call. But that was the rumor that I heard, and I thought, what the hell is going on with... That might not be the right word. What the heck is going on with that?
What the heck, a Rooney? Now, how did you hear this rumor? It's such a weird thing for it to come into your... Psst, did you know? Were you like, what?
Because it's a church that, like, my parents drive by.
And but I feel like in that area, they're like every 4 corners are churches. Am I wrong about that? There are tons of churches around.
But this is a Catholic church. My mom identifies as Catholic. It's just novel to them, and they've thought of maybe going to it, okay?
Your mom identifies as Catholic?
She converted to Catholicism when I was 12.
Okay, I have some follow-up questions about that.
Let's stick with the
hang
Boise
on.
church.
I do want to ask a few questions.
Yeah.
Knowing your mom, did she like actually go through the process of conversion?
Oh, yeah. Her and her friend Karen. Yeah. Oh, it was a big deal. I got to go to the it's not called a graduation, but you know what I mean. It was like a
First communion?
I don't know if that was the name of it, but it was like a big deal when we went to the final thing. And yeah, they had to do a bunch of stuff.
Like what?
I don't know, but it took months
remember
of them
it?
going to the
Classes
classes
and
and all this
conversion.
stuff.
Okay.
And they did it at the St. Louis, I want to say it was like, I don't know. It was kind of a cool church, but not that one that we ended up going to. Doesn't matter. This is not what I want to talk about.
No, but you know what? You see why. I could see your mom being like, I'm Catholic now. And her doing it with Karen validates that she really became
I
Catholic.
actually don't get your point.
As someone who is Catholic by virtue of being Catholic.
Wait, but you're basically saying that my mom is not credible. No, that's not the right word. That she's not... You don't believe that she took the steps.
Yeah.
Why would you say that about my mom? You think my mom just one day woke up and was like, I'm Catholic now?
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
Have you met your mom?
Yeah, she's my mom.
I could see your mom going to a few masses, and then the time comes where basically the only part of mass that you can't do if you are not confirmed Catholic, confirmation is one of the rites of passage, is going to receive the body and blood of Christ.
I know.
So I could see her, your mother, going to a few masses and then being like, I'm going to do it.
No.
And then doing it.
Wow. You're painting a picture. I have so much integrity, okay?
Says
integrity is generational, okay?
Okay.
For you to accuse my mom that she would go up and get the cracker and wine without taking the right steps is ludicrous. She has so much integrity, and she takes the steps necessary, no shortcuts, okay? And give me one example of my mom taking a shortcut.
I don't know, but she's the type of person who, Andy, come on. This is not that out. They lived in Tbilisi, Georgia for 6 years and never learned how to say like hello or thank you. Got by like a charm because she's very charming. Yeah. And because of her charm and warmth and loving energy, like a lot of things just like kind of work out for her and she gets through. But yeah, like I 100% could see your mom. And it's not that she knows. This is blowing my mind that you don't see that this could happen. Now, Karen, her friend, would go through the steps. And so
you've met Karen like once.
I know enough about Karen. I know enough.
So generous. And you're right about Karen. So you're not wrong about Karen. Yeah. But
I'm not saying it out of a like spiteful.
No, I think this.
Your mom though could 100% like start going to. I don't know. I'm trying to think. She could start going to a Jewish synagogue, and she's married to a Jewish man, and just be like, "Well, I'm Jewish now." Like that could happen.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
and we have 50 plus years evidence that never happened. Because she probably would have had to take in all the steps.
I'm not saying it's a hypothetical.
I
don't know why this is bumming you out so much.
Because integrity is generational, and the Rosens have integrity.
So you're taking me saying this about your mom in a way where I'm also saying this about you because I don't think this about you.
I know you don't. And what I actually think is happening is I think you're saying actually a lot more about yourself than you are my mom, actually. That's what I think. Because I really don't think you have proof of this.
I don't. It's just a vibe.
That's
I want to talk to your brother.
I
just want to talk to your brother and see if he would... Like, let's have a conversation with your brother.
Yeah.
Neither of us says anything other than, could you, like, conceive of your mom, bless her heart, deciding that she was a religion and just now stating that's how she identifies? Here's another thing about it. Is your mom, actually, you know what? This is based on something. Your mom identified as Catholic, and I was raised Catholic. And granted, there are going to be differences between that. But when you and I first started dating, the way she identified as being Catholic was clearly someone who had kind of created her own Catholicism. Like, she was very into Mary and stuff like that, which is not abnormal. But there was like, it felt like she made up her own Catholic religion to be into. And so that's part of why I think maybe she just like decided she was kind of Catholic.
She went through all of the steps.
And I love that for her.
So anyways, maybe she was asking about this church. Anyways, a friend of hers, someone in the community, is the one that told my mom this rumor that the priest does not face the audience. His
and it was
back
like
is to the audience.
So your mom said to the friend, like, hey, I'm thinking about dipping my toe back into Catholicism.
We're getting in the weeds here.
No,
I don't know.
I'm literally asking. And the friend doesn't go to that church but goes, well, I heard that the priest, you don't want to go there. Because the priest doesn't even face the audience. He's preaching to Jesus?
Listen, all I heard was my mom heard this rumor, and then I wanted to get to the bottom of it because it sounds pretty wild to me.
And how did you hear the rumor? You were driving by it, and she said, you know that church.
Okay, you were getting really stuck on this. I can't remember if we were in the car, if we were having dinner at the table, but my mom heard the rumor. And I want to get to the good stuff. She heard the rumor. She told me. To me, it sounded crazy. I wanted to call the church to find out if it was true.
Do you know something, Andy?
What?
I'm just doing what you do about everything, where you are so fascinated by this like nitty gritty.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But you're attaching to the wrong gritty.
Okay, I'll be quiet now. Carry on.
So she heard the rumor. I heard the rumor. That seems wild. Does it seem interesting to you, or do you think that just seems like a normal thing?
Do I seem interested? I'm asking.
You seem interested in how my mom found out. You don't seem interested that the priest has his back. That his priest has the back to everybody that's coming there to worship.
I find the whole story interesting.
Okay.
I wouldn't want you to skip over the interesting part of how you found out. Carry on.
To me, the headline is the priest's back. That seems boring to me. That seems not charismatic. That seems weird to me, right?
I just had an image of, like, what if his butt had, like, two googly eyes on top of it and his butt's talking? That'd be funny.
So I have to call so many times. They never pick up. Then I start getting in my head, is it because
You're Jewish?
Yeah, I do.
Rosen?
Yeah, that my name's coming up on the...
Oh my God.
The caller ID.
How
this
dare
is around
you.
the time we're talking about *67. So then I start 67 calling them.
Whoa.
Still no answer. Finally, I call.
How many calls do you think?
7, probably. Finally, I call and a woman answers. Should I give her name?
Yeah.
Barbara.
Ah, yes.
So I said, hey, Barbara, my parents are, I lie a little bit. I hope that's okay. But I was trying to think of
okay, Mr. Integrity. You're lying to Barbara of the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I think you're going to like this lie. I think it's a pretty good setup. Because I needed a way in, right?
This does not stink of integrity.
I just said my parents are new to the area, and my mom's a little hard of hearing.
Oh my God, Andy.
And they're thinking about coming to check out the church. And they heard a rumor that the priest gives his sermon with the back to the audience.
My mom...
I thought it was perfect because then I didn't say... I should have said, like, and she needs to read lips, right?
I think that's implied.
Well, this lady didn't really ever seem to acknowledge that. And let me say this, because I'm not going to out this church, right? So this could be Barbara. There's probably a Barbara at 30 different churches.
Every Catholic church,
right?
In Boise.
There's more than one Catholic church in Boise, Idaho, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Barbara seemed annoyed at the accusation. Okay?
Wait. Say exactly how you said this outrageous lie.
How I saw it
Said
to you.
my parents are new in the area.
They're thinking about coming and check out the hearing. They're thinking about coming to check out the church. My mom is hard of hearing, though, and we heard a rumor that the priest gives his sermon with his back to the audience. And I came up with the better congregation. I said congregation.
Now, congregation.
Okay.
Now,
No.
I think where you went wrong
Tell me.
is using the word rumor.
Okay.
It has a negative connotation.
Okay. Well, her vibe to me. Let's circle back to the rumor. But her
How old
vibe,
is Babs, do you think?
I think 65 maybe.
Okay.
But it was not a warm vibe. It was
Welcome to Catholicism,
it
baby.
was kind of like annoyed at this accusation.
Yeah, don't question the rules.
Right? Where I would have thought someone would be like, oh, no, that's not the case or whatnot. Turns out it is somewhat the case, though. So here's what's going on. The church has a unique setup. That's how she leads. Well, the church has a unique setup. And it's kind of with this like...
Oh, aggressive
vibe. It's currently somewhat in the round. So
like Cats in the Round in London.
Okay, yeah.
First time I saw it.
And there are different seating areas in this thing.
Okay.
When the priest is at the altar, okay, which I think I know what means. I've been to some services.
You went to your mom's graduation?
I went to her graduation. I can picture that. So she said, I'm looking at my notes because I wrote down clearly. When the priest is at the altar, for example, doing the consecration, his back would be to you if you're sitting at those seats.
Okay.
So this rumor is not unwarranted, right?
Okay.
Those same seats, though, are great if you want to see other folks doing the readings. Their backs would not be to you. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, okay, priest at the altar, back towards you, but people giving readings. I'm just thinking of normal church, and usually everyone's always facing the same direction. I'm thinking of weddings. I'm thinking of all of it. I'm getting a little confused.
What about the sermon?
So what's a consecration?
Okay, because actually now that you're saying this, I'm thinking like, I believe there's part of the consecration where our priest would also turn his back to us and face our Lord and Savior on the cross. Mm-hmm. But I might be making that up. It's been a minute. But the consecration is basically the preparation of the, as you called it, crackers and wine.
Yeah.
Where it's talking about, Jesus's body and blood and blah, blah, blah. And how when you accept that, like you're accepting Jesus into yourself and stuff.
Got it.
I'm trying to remember, but I do have definitely remember when he would hold up the cracker and the wine, he was facing us very clearly.
They're confirming that at least this one section back to you if you're sitting in these seats. Also in the round.
Interesting.
So I said, well, I'm assuming, and I was very generous with this. I said, I'm assuming he's very mindful if it's in the round of doing what you do in the round. You got to turn around. You got to face everybody. And she said, of course, and we have a very good sound system.
For your mother. For your hard of hearing mother.
For my hard of hearing mother. But so it does seem this rumor is somewhat warranted, right? Because even if his back is just at these one seats during the consecration, his back's going to be towards a bunch of people during the round part. Like if he's always moving, it seems like this is a different thing.
Setup.
Yeah. So my takeaway is Barbara, I think, could have been a little more
generous of spirit.
Generous of the Holy Spirit to me. And that I'm going to have to get eyes on this myself the next time I go to Boise. I just need to go to a mass, which I think my mom would be tickled about if her and I went to a mass.
Oh, it would be so fun and funny.
We'd have different agendas. I would be curious. She would be stoked to go to a mass.
Okay.
So that's all I know it's not that juicy, but That's what I found out.
Don't you dare go and get the body and blood.
Oh, so circling back to that, that was the part I hated going to church with my mom, because I would sit there by myself.
And it's like suddenly you have like a red, the red A on your body. Everyone looks at you and is like, you're not one of us.
Yeah. What's this
How
little
embarrassing.
guy doing here?
Oh, this little guy. Yeah.
So,
speaking of little guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is all great, and I'm glad you got to the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry you had that interaction with Barbara.
It wasn't that bad. I just thought it would be different. But it did.
She didn't know that you were a man of such integrity. Had she known, she would have spoken to you with a little bit more respect.
Can I say something now?
Yeah.
I get the impression, and maybe I'm just saying this because I want this to be true, but that they get this feedback from sometimes that this is
why they're not answering their phone. They're like, every other call is about the rumor that's going around. Do you think that she was in the church at that moment and like the Jesus up on the cross, like looked down at her and goes, he's lying?
About me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And I actually don't think Jesus would like smite me down for this hard of hearing thing. Be real weird if my mom lost her hearing all of a sudden.
It really would.
Or if I would. Either of those scenarios, real bad. And probably we would link to this.
Yes, we would.
Ooh, and I just put it out there.
No, but now that you put it out there, I feel like it won't happen. You're aware that what you did was a lie, and you've weighed whether it was worth it or not, and you decided it was.
In some ways, I thought the lie would be easier for that person on that end to receive it.
You're making it easier, but it turns out it was still very much a thorn in her side.
Potentially.
A word from our sponsor this week, OneSkin. Is your skin feeling drier than normal? Turns out there's a scientific reason for that. Something today's sponsor, OneSkin, the first company to target skin aging at the cellular level, knows all about. Your skin barrier, the outermost layer of your skin, gets compromised during the winter due to things like colder temperatures and lower humidity. What I absolutely love about OneSkin is, first of all, just the experience. It feels like a very luxurious product to put on your face, and I love using their eye products especially. And I've really noticed a change in my eye skin and my little crow's feet and fine lines since I've been using it, and I cannot recommend it enough. So founded by and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. For a limited time, get 15% off using our code by going to oneskin.co and using the code NLR. So this holiday season, you can invest in your skin's long-term health, because healthy aging is a gift. Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Speaking of you being Lil.
Yeah.
My agent, Stephanie, who I love so much.
Love her.
Said to me, now she's very petite.
Okay.
She's small. Uh-huh. So I think that her kind of perception, just so you know, like this was, it's going to sound kind of outrageous.
Okay.
But I think because her perception is from that of a smaller person, it's actually very real. But we were talking about, you had texted me your height at the doctor's office with your shoes on.
Yeah, I forgot to take my shoes off, and they said I was 5'10".
And I laughed about it. We were talking about different heights and stuff. And Stephanie, I started that story, but I didn't get to the 5'10" part. And he goes, well, he's 6 feet, right?
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that so nice?
Why did you have to caveat it with her size and her perspective? That seems to take away from what you're saying to me.
Well,
right?
Someone
that seems
who's
like a
5'6", for them to think that you're 6 feet is odd. She's met you in person. Like, you've hung out with her quite a few times. And
what's the point of this story then? I don't get it. What are you trying to say?
That you are perceived as being much taller than you are.
But only because she's petite? Do you see what you set up?
I'm just actually, see, you're seeing it from a different way, and I do understand where you're coming from. But what I want you to understand is I was setting that up in a way to say, this is very valid. But I knew you'd be thrilled.
It's funny. Okay.
By the way, speaking of like size, and so we went to Houston's the other night. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
The restaurant.
Yeah. We love to eat there. And we had our meal, which is it's always a hefty meal there. Like you're not leaving. You seem so uncomfortable right now.
No, I just realized like the mic is like almost is really high on you, which might be a little weird, but don't change it too much. It's good.
And so, we get the spinach artichoke dip, obviously.
Love it.
Now, usually we go there with a third, St. Monica.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, she couldn't make it this time, so it was just you and me. And so we housed that artichoke dip, and then you got a French dip. You can only eat half of it.
Yeah.
I got a baked potato. You also got a baked potato.
Loaded.
I got a baked potato and a side of broccoli, and it was so delicious. But the thing that she said at the beginning of the meal was they have a special dessert, which is the fall cheesecake.
Oh, fuck off. Why are you saying this?
And, well, it just popped into my mind. And I knew I wanted that fall cheesecake. And so even though I was pretty full, I opened my second stomach up and I was like, we're getting that cheesecake. Mm-hmm. And it was so good. And of course, you were so full because you had like so much to eat.
Sure.
And so you had like your 1 or 2 bites of the cheesecake. And then I'm eating it, but slowly. And the server keeps coming over and being like, can I get a box?
Yeah.
And you keep going, do you want a box? You should take that home. You should get a box. And I was like, I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
This happened like 3 times.
Twice.
But the second time she came over and you go, you should get a box. You should take that home. And it was so, like, it so came across as a husband, like, diet policing his wife and being like, you shouldn't finish that whole cheesecake. It's
my God.
absolutely outrageous. But really what you were thinking was...
The truth was, I know you, and I know that you would much rather have your little cheesecake in the morning for breakfast. I was thinking about future Elizabeth being so excited to have this cheesecake instead of this thing which you were nibbling on so slow. So, yeah, but maybe
I kept
she
having
thought
to
I was
say
a monster.
to you,
huh?
I'm gonna finish it in front of her in a way where she definitely read it the other way.
She thought, she was like, God, they're going to have a difficult weigh-in tonight.
Weigh-in. Okay, should we talk about this soccer game?
Yes. Oh, my.
I've been dying to hear this. You haven't told me this whole story.
No, I haven't because I want to save it. So our kid was in the playoffs for soccer. We're talking 10-year-old soccer here.
Big deal.
Big deal. Playoffs. If they win the playoff game, they go to the championship. It was just exciting. It was very exciting. The matchup between the two teams was great. We start off the game, we're up 1-0. Vibes are high. So the rest of the game goes on, and it is a great game, but a couple things happen where there gets a little murkiness of the rules, sort of. Probably the most of note was the other team. This was, I think, in the second half, or maybe right before the second half ended. It was after a water break. Do you know how they do like water breaks during the game? Have you seen that?
Where they break for water?
Yeah. So it's not halftime, but it is like a quick little break.
Yes.
Almost like a quarter or something.
Sure.
But it was after a water break, and they start playing. They've been playing for at least like 2 or 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, the other team gets a breakaway, and they're charging down towards our goal.
Yes.
We have no goalie in the goal.
Why?
So we're all looking at like the goal, like, what the fuck? Where's our goalie? Right?
Yeah.
All of us parents. And the other team just charging makes an easy goal. It turns out, it seems like our goalie might have had to take a quick bathroom break during the water break. That's what I think happened.
And hadn't come back in time?
And so I think came back and saw the game was moving and maybe just assumed like, oh, they put a different goalie in because they do rotate goalies all the time.
Oh, so they were there but just standing there?
Yes. So it was an awkward moment.
Yeah.
I don't put this on that kid at all, though.
Of course,
all.
yeah.
But it was an awkward moment and just also, I think it raised a few like, is that goal legit? Like it just felt a little weird in a playoff game.
Sure.
So that's in the air, right? Game goes on, and we're talking buzzer beater at the very, very end. The other team scores, and they lose their minds in excitement, and then the game's over, and all of us are like, oh, darn it, we lost. Okay?
Okay. Because what was the score? Like
the score was 3-2.
And so that last goal took it to 3.
Yeah, at least in my mind. Okay. And how the other team like reacted. Joyful, crazy.
Yay,
and
won.
Then like literally 30 seconds later, they blow the whistle. It's the end of the game and it's like hysteria. So all the kids go back over to their side of the field. They're all, doing their thing. All of us parents, both teams, we start kind of picking up our stuff.
Yeah.
And then maybe a few minutes goes by and then it's like, no. Game's not over. And we're like, huh? Game's not over. It's tied. And I'm thinking like, oh, did they not count the empty goalie goal?
Right.
Right? I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I'm kind of like, huh, that's weird. And then so all of us parents kind of start like milling about, but we don't know what's going on and it's taking a long time. And we see across the field the coaches from both teams and the refs like getting into it. So we're like, huh, what's going on? Then a ref comes over to our side of the field, to all the parents, and is like, what do you guys think the score was? And I'm like, oh boy, this is ugly.
Oh no.
This is bad. And the ref says, I had the score at 2-1 right before the end of the first half. And then the other team, then we scored another one, bringing us to 3. And then the other team scored 2 in the second half. So the ref was like, it's 3-3. A score that I didn't even think it was. I thought maybe it was 2-2 if they're not counting this one mystery goal. Right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, 3-3? But then I'm thinking, oh, wait, it did seem like maybe we could have had 2-1 before the first half. So then I start thinking like, oh, maybe that's right.
What about all these penalty kicks that I saw? Like our daughter scored a penalty kick.
So what happened was, so there becomes this huge argument. Is the score 3-3 or was it 3-2 the other team won? And our team is accounting for these 3 goals that we have.
And is someone saying here were the 3 goals?
Yes, and they seem to be attributed to 3 kids.
So you just missed one of the goals.
I must have missed one of them.
Okay.
What I will say, if I'm being completely honest of the vibe, is I do think like when the game ended, because of the hysteria of the other team, we and some of the other parents on our side were like, oh, we lost. Like it did feel.
Well, yeah, you're painting that picture very clearly.
Yes.
Well,
it's an important picture to paint.
Okay.
Because once this kind of comes out like, no, it's 3-3, the other team starts losing their mind.
Okay.
The coach is losing their mind. The parents are losing their mind. One parent says, I'm calling the cops. Okay. And it's getting wild.
What?
And this whole being in this weird zone of question marks is taking way too much time. We're talking, this is like a 10 to 15 minute deliberation.
Y'all were there for a long time.
Before someone finally makes a call, like we're going to make the kids doing penalty kicks. At this point in this time of question marks, I'm standing with a couple of the other dads and we're going, if this goes to penalty kicks and we win, like this is going to be on the news. Like, it's getting so
like
heated.
The parents and the coach are
other parents are going to lose their minds because they were so confident that they won this game.
But they weren't dealing with it well. It sounds like
so
threatening to call the police.
Threatening to call the cops, a lot of yelling.
Some
a lot
bad
of
behavior.
A lot of the kids giving middle fingers to our kids and stuff.
My God.
It was escalating very quickly.
I will say I'm very proud of our team, and we had such a great coach that they maintained their cool. They didn't.
No, they kept it very cool
and classy. There was no reactions to the getting flicked off and stuff like that.
Yeah, but anyways, long story short, it is so heated and uncomfortable. And
who's the most obnoxious parent? The one threatening to call the cops?
Yeah.
Is there yelling?
Yeah, there's a lot of yelling going on.
Are you getting mad dogged, like, from the other parents? Are they looking at y'all like...
There's quite a distance between the parents.
Uh-huh.
And I'm with like a group of dads that we're just kind of stunned in amazement and kind of like, this is so funny. This is wild. But like, also, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
But it just seems so crazy. And so it ends up going to penalty kicks, and it comes down to our daughter.
Oh, my God.
Not to win it, because holy shit, that would have been so crazy.
Well,
but it comes down to her not to lose it.
The video you sent me,
yeah.
I felt like I was watching Friday Night Lights, like the state championship. The amount of noise around like her lining up, and it's a nighttime game. And I wasn't there because I was prepping for a colonoscopy and shitting my brains out. But like getting that video and I was like, what is happening? Because these games are usually like pretty small and kind of sweet little games. But the roar from the crowd, and she's lined up and the lights are on the field and her little body, I could see all this little pressure in her.
Yes.
And then she goes and makes the kick.
So each team got 5 penalty kicks. And I forget what the score was up to, but it basically was, if she missed it, they would have a chance to win. It wasn't like if she scored it, we would win automatically, which would have been kind of epic. But
it was still
she was the last person to go on our team.
Oh, wow.
And so let's say this, if she didn't make it and then the next team made it, they would have won. If she didn't make it and they didn't make it, I think you get another 5 penalty kicks or something crazy.
Okay.
Anyways, she crushes it. And so everyone goes ape shit.
Yes.
And then the next team goes, and our goalie blocks it. So we won. And
oh, my God.
It's mayhem. Our team is now excited, going crazy. And then, I mean, I guess the end moment is like there was a car driving away and a mom yelling out of the car like cheaters at us as they're driving away.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Okay, well, this all goes to show, I think we've talked about how like we're not the parents who are holding our hands through our kids' homework, while other parents are very involved. And we're also very lucky. Our kids are like independent and do their homework and get good grades and stuff like that. We don't have to be in it with them. Mm-hmm. We've heard tales of, through the grapevine, of like people we actually sort of know as acquaintances going so crazy at their kids' soccer games.
Oh,
and
sure.
Like how obsessed parents get. And we saw it on our kids' basketball team last year where like some parents just cannot help themselves and they get so like they're projecting their own shit onto their kid clearly.
Yeah.
Or I don't know I understand the like wanting your kid to succeed, but we've talked about also, you know, Venus and Serena Williams' dad.
Yeah.
Is that the way to be? Obviously, he created 2 insane champions.
Sure, yes.
But I think a lot of those amazing athletes look back and go, like, that was a strained relationship. It bordered on abusive.
Yeah.
Now, when you have a Tiger Woods or Serena Williams or Michael Phelps or whoever it is, that's one thing. But think about the 99% of those kids who actually don't ultimately have these massive careers. Right. And then they have this, like, strange relationship. It's just like, is it worth it? I don't know. Well, but I had this. So as I said, I was prepping for my colonoscopy.
Oh, wait. Can I do one quick thing?
Yes.
Interject. I will say, though, then we went to the championship game a
Yeah.
few days later, and that other team, we ended up losing. It was a great game, but that team has an intensity to it,
The final championship
game, that I think I could see directly reflected in the coaches of that team.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the coaches was this woman that seemed like a total badass,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like more of an intensity that is like being
taken it more seriously.
taken in with those. It was just interesting.
Well, what I will say is I loved our coach this season.
Amazing. Me too.
Because especially, I mean, there were some games where I was frustrated with how they played. And then he would text afterwards, like, so we didn't win. But as I told the girls, like, what I wanted them to do in that game was footwork or whatever it was. And they like did such a good job. And it was such a good reminder to me as a parent going, oh, right. They're 10. This is not about winning the championship. They're not going to, which, by the way, we have friends whose kids are like soccer phenoms and they travel all over the world. Do you know that those kids who are like, it's not even AYSO, it's like whatever other league,
Club or,
have to have Instagram accounts?
I didn't know that.
And it's like a real kind of struggle for some of these parents who don't want their kids to have social media.
Wow, interesting.
But for coaches to notice them, they have highlight reels, and the coaches of those teams like help coordinate the highlight reels for all of these players.
Wow,
for scouting.
Yeah.
And we're talking 10, 11 years old.
Those like that young?
Yes.
Wow.
So like it is a whole intense world that I'm so glad our kid is amazing, and I think both of them have learned so much in whatever sports they're in. Particularly for girls, there's scientific evidence with the like group sports increases confidence and teamwork and all of these amazing attributes. But I'm also glad that neither of them have such outstanding skill that like we would feel almost obligated to enter that realm, because I think
crazy world
we couldn't do it as parents. We're
not cut out for it.
So anyway, I was prepping for colonoscopy. Not a fun prep experience, as I think is true to form. In fact, I will say I don't feel like I was told enough from my like doctor's office about what to expect.
It was just like another day for them. It's too
you take this at this time,
them.
you take this at this time. Then I go in the next day, and like my reward for all of this, of course, is propofol,
which is
the medication that they give you to put you to sleep. That gives you about 2 seconds of like the best feeling in the world. Now, it's not a good medication to use outside of surgical situations because it's caused some deaths, some notorious deaths out there. And so this is strictly for when you're going under and administered by a professional. The professional in my case was this wonderful character who is in his 60s, and he came and he put me at ease because even though I was looking forward to it, I was also understandably just anxious.
You don't want to die.
Don't want to die, and you also like haven't eaten in over a day and spent last night almost throwing up and pooping, and you feel weird. And also like had never had a colonoscopy before. It's kind of awkward thinking someone's going into your butt, and
for sure,
what are they going to find and what's going to happen?
All of it.
So he really put me at ease, and he was chatting with me, and it was so crazy that it came up because I mentioned my kids or something, and he goes, oh yeah, how old are they? 8 and 10. He goes, oh man, that's such fun ages. I remember when my kids were 8 and 10, I was their AYSO soccer coach. And he goes, that was crazy. Like, and I said, oh, well, you'll appreciate this. My daughter's soccer game was last night, and like things got wild. And he goes, oh, I bet. I remember. So he told me 2 stories. That the first one was when his kid was like 5 years old. Okay, so teeny tiny soccer game where like half the kids are just standing around picking their noses. The parents got so into it that at one point in time, this one kid who was really good, who was on his team, so he was coaching, was like making his way down the field and is about to make a goal. And the other team's kid is like looking at a butterfly or something.
Yeah.
That a dad from the sidelines, runs out onto the field, picks up his kid, who's the butterfly gazer, and holds him up and blocks the kick with his son's body.
Shut up.
Like, can you imagine if you were that dad who went and used your son as a human shield? First of all, like,
whoa.
To, being like, he's playing, like, you think that's going to count as blocking the goal? You're picking him up to, like, block this flying object.
It is.
And also, like, if you were that dad and I saw you do that when your kid's 5, I will never look at you the same way again. I will always only think of how you have no self-control, you're obsessive. Like, who does that? Okay, now.
Oh my God.
The next one's even crazier, and it's actually really depressing.
That one's probably pretty depressing.
Pretty dark. Okay, now he said his kid's now in their late 30s, so this was almost 30 years ago, which I think this context is a little important because I think the way it would be dealt with today would be vastly different.
Okay.
It was a championship game, his kid's team versus this other team. Mm-hmm. His kid is their goalie.
Okay.
What's that called?
Anesthesiologist.
The other team's coach's kid is like the striker. Okay. He's doing a penalty kick, and it's for the winning point for the game.
Okay, so it goes to penalty kicks. Got it.
And this coach was really intense, and the kid's really, really good. And so it's like 2 coaches and their 2 kids facing off.
Yeah.
And the kid misses it. So,
like misses the goal, or is it blocked?
I think it's blocked.
Okay, great.
The other coach runs out in front of everyone and slaps his kid in the face.
What?
Now, this is where I'm talking about those parents where it's like borderline abusive. This is obviously actually
abusive.
Yes. And today, I would be calling 911 so fast and would be going, I just witnessed abuse happen to a child. Like, how fucking crazy is that?
Whoa.
I know back then things were a little more loosey-goosey, but still so outrageous that this anesthesiologist is telling this story. So what happened was this coach was banned from coaching again. It was like but you're like, that kid's getting abused at home. If your dad is willing to come hit you, like, I can totally see them in the backyard him being like, again, That
is bonkers.
The saddest thing ever. And like, for a dad to care so much, first of all, humiliating the kid, clearly abusing him at home over this, like, this is where I'm like, sports parents getting so crazy is so fucked up. And anyway, that's all.
That's dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, I'm like thinking about what happened with our team and like the mom who's going to call the cops. Which, by the way, our daughter was like, I mean, what are they going to do? Like, come arrest us? And it was like half joking, but also half not. And I'm like, no, honey, no one's getting arrested.
Me personally, I was like, call the cops because I got to see what the cops show up and what happens next. Like, what are they going to be like? Like, they're going to decide if we get penalty kicks or not? Like, That's where my head was like. I was like, I would love to see this version.
Coming over with their pad. So we heard that the score was, anyway, those parents who were like that and yelling cheaters and stuff like that. It's just like, regardless, I guess it's easy to say when we're on the other team, but regardless of what happened or didn't happen, ultimately my view is refs. Now, we don't know what happened. You easily could have missed a goal and we rightfully won, or they were right and something got lost in translation. Yeah, there does seem something
murky. I will say that it did seem, when they were like, oh no, you guys were up 2-1 before, and I was like, oh wait, that does seem right. So whatever, there was some murkiness with that plus the other goal. Like, there is question marks that still surround it. I will admit that.
So there's enough question marks from enough people that warrants like, this isn't cut and dry.
It'd be a cold case for a long time,
cold case. And watching basketball, I'm like, refs sometimes make mistakes. That's their job, is they have to make a call, right?
Yes, sure.
With the information that they have.
Yeah.
And so to then, I don't know, berate the other team of children, it's just like, and also that their kids are flipping off. Like our children would never have the audacity to flip off another person, no matter what.
Right.
You know,
right,
it speaks to a certain kind of etiquette.
Me as a fifth grader flipping someone off, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wild.
That is really wild.
Yeah. Oh, and then I just want to end with this, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
I was talking to my pal DJ Nash, and we were talking about colonoscopies and how it's a strange sensation to wake up from the dream of propofol and be like, oh, someone was just up in my guts.
Yeah.
But I have no like sensation that happened. There's no nothing. It's not like your butt feels like someone's been here or anything. In my case, what was interesting is my doctor, who I adore and who has done a lot of my upper endoscopy stuff for my Schatzki's ring, has such a nice, warm bedside manner and really makes you feel like you're in good hands. And he said this in a way that I actually put me at ease in the moment. But then afterwards, I was like, where he's asking me all the questions. Do you understand the risks? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, let's party.
No.
That's the last thing he said.
No.
And then I get wheeled into
Inappropriate.
I get wheeled into the room. Now, I have a really good, fun rapport with him. I joke. I made a joke about like he's closing the loop on me. Like he's been upstairs and now he's going downstairs kind of thing.
Okay.
So
you're not in the...
I'm in the prep area.
Okay, I still think it's inappropriate, but the fact that it was in an area then you got to go wheeled, it wasn't like as you were going under, let's party.
No, that would be terrible. But it is a weird sensation when he did say let's party, and then I get wheeled into the room, and now there are 2 women and 2 men in that room. Mm-hmm. 2 nurses and the anesthesiologist and my surgeon. And then you wake up and you're in like recovery area, right? Mm-hmm. And you're a little bit like, did you party? Like,
well, that's creepy.
That's
it's really creepy.
No, but it didn't come across that way. But I think saying it out loud, you can see how it might feel that way. But anyway, clean. I got an A+ for a clean colon. Very clean colon.
I'm happy for you.
One little polyp removed.
How do they remove it?
They just cut it out.
While they're in there.
How else would they do it?
So there's a camera then with like a knife at the front of it or something?
Yeah, something like that. Oh. How else would they do it?
Maybe like a power washer or situation or something? Or laparoscopic?
That's probably what it
laser,
is. Laparoscopic's like kind of the same thing.
I have no idea what laparoscopic means. It's
okay.
Small cuts.
So anyway, such a relief to have this clean bill of health. I got my boobs scanned, good. Colon scanned, good. I feel like I'm entering 2025 with like solid medical foundation.
That's great.
Yes.
I feel a little
behind me.
Squeamish about it all because we were driving back from the colonoscopy and you had like all your paperwork on your lap discussing what we're going to get for lunch because you haven't eaten in 24 hours.
Yes.
And we're talking about getting, what is that place?
Gingergrass.
What is it though? What kind of food is
Vietnamese.
that? Vietnamese. And you're flipping through your papers and all of a sudden you open it up and it's just photo after photo of the inside of your colon that I glanced.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? No. Like it was wild to see.
You know, for someone who for a brief period of time early in our relationship really wanted to be in my butt, you sure seem put off by it. So I'm glad that never happened.
What do you mean?
You wanted to get in my butt at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, I would, but not with my eyeball.
Well, I'm glad that I never afforded you the privilege. If that's how you You were so like, ugh.
Well, it was just like we were about to eat, and I don't need to see that. It looked clean.
It
Looked really
glistening, pink glistening.
We'll put them up in the stories.
By the way, I do want to say, and then I know we're going long, is I really think in relationships, like having a sense of humor is very important. And I would tell my kids, make sure you have someone that you can laugh with.
Let's party.
Who you can party with. Someone that you respect and respects you, obviously.
Integrity and support, important.
Integrity. But you also, something I scored in with you that has only really come to light, I'd say in the last 5 years or so, is how you take such good care of me. And I think especially having lost my mom at such a young age, it is really, really important, and it means so much to me that I have someone who really takes good care of me. Like, you took me there in the morning, whereas I could have Ubered, but you were like, no, I want to take you. You waited for me. You took me home. You make sure I have the food I want. You did this when I had COVID recently, where you're like, you really, and it seems like it's no sweat to you. Mm-hmm. You almost enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's so sweet of you to say that, and I appreciate it. But it does seem like, I wonder what your bar is, because it does seem like a pretty low bar. I don't ever feel like I'm going out of my way. I'm just like, if someone's sick in the house, these are the things you do. Maybe it's because I was raised with integrity. No, but that is so sweet for you to say. But it doesn't seem, and I'm so happy to do all that stuff. But I would always, like, you do that same for me. We do the same for our kids. It just seems like I'm wondering what version you were imagining as possible with other people.
Not to gender this, but I think that it is much more common for the woman in a heteronormative relationship to be the caregiver, and I don't know, it's kind of baked in for me to take care of something or someone when they're sick.
Yeah.
You return the favor. Like, there are a lot of men, for example, when their wives get cancer, bounce. Do you know that?
Well, you haven't had cancer though.
But I know, jokes aside, I'm not worried in the least about that situation with you, which is like weirdly comforting. And you make sure I'm fed well, which to me is like a specific to being kind of sick or weakened love language.
Yeah.
And you really get it, and you're like, you were on top of it. You're like, what can I have ready for you when you get out of this situation? And I said, I want this apple croissant from Starbucks.
Yeah.
You had it for me in the car.
Sure.
And then it was like, what do you want to eat now? It was very thoughtful.
It just seems like such a low bar. I love it. I'm just so curious what this, if it's a vision in your head or if it is a reality in other.
I think there are a lot of couples,
situations.
And listen, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. So I'm not saying, I think for some people, maybe this isn't as important. And I do think it goes to like not having my mom around and caring for me through certain things. Like, I went through a horrible situation after my parents died with my wisdom teeth coming out and getting sick and having to call 911 for myself and having no one around. Like, I think that, so it gives me a sense of security that maybe is bigger than for other people. But I think there are a lot of people where they wouldn't even ask their husbands to be like, can you take me in the morning? Because it would be like, no, just Uber. Or like, and then I'll take you home, but then I'm going to go off and do whatever. And like, you can order something. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, but I don't think everyone has what I have. Nice. I'm grateful.
Wow.
Okay. But I'm sure a lot of people do have that.
I sure hope so.
I hope so. On that note, good night.
Good night.